Burt Beebe here with HoneyBeeMade, always on the B side, with our first ever live video on YouTube. And we're from our home base, not headquarters, home base is where we live. Currently, until we get 1,000 subscribers on our channel, we can only do it from a laptop and need Wi Fi. But welcome if you're watching, we greatly appreciate it. It's our first ever video. I want to preface everything that we do here, and what we're going to do is talk about honeybees, honey, beekeeping, anything about honeybees. What I want to preface is the fact that there's no one way, sure way of beekeeping. Every beekeeper does something just a little bit different. So one beekeeper might tell you that there's one set way you have to keep bees. I might tell you a different way, but I won't say it in a way that you have to do it that way. It would be my recommendation based on my experience. So how did all this come to be? Well, as a little boy, I think that I was always interested in honeybees and beekeeping and maple trees. Maple syrup always fascinated me. I always had books on that my mother and father maybe gave me for Christmas or something like that. And I found them interesting. And as I grew older and getting more and more interested in it, and what happened was I became a school teacher and had nothing to do really in July and August, was looking for something to do. So about 8 years ago, I decided I was going to try beekeeping. I started with 2 colonies. Of course, I couldn't do the maple tree thing because I don't own property with maple trees on it. So I decided to just start with 2 colonies. It wasn't even on our property. I had to ask somebody, almost basically a stranger, if I could borrow their property to put 2 honeybee hives on it. And we ended up with 4 our first summer, I think it was. And then when it came to honey extraction that year, we bottled what we had, and I found that by selling it, I was able to pay for the colonies that we bought. And then I started doing the math and figuring things out, and I'm like, wow, there's a profit margin here. I really think I could make a go with this. So 4 colonies eventually turned into 8, and then 8 to 16. It feels like they double every year, only because it's so easy to reproduce honeybees. The challenging part is coming up with the financial resources to keep accumulating more woodenware. In the beekeeping world, woodenware is what is called that we keep the bees in, the hive boxes. When we use all Langstroth hives, and currently we're using 10 frame Langstroth hives, there are also 8 frames available. So that's how it all started. And I'm getting close to retirement in my current job, which is a teacher for culinary arts, and looking to do something in my retirement years. And we came across the idea of doing honeybees. My wife's on board. The first time we went to like a craft market to sell our honey, I had a card table out and nothing else, no signage, nothing. And then I laid out the honey bears, and we basically sold out without even advertising. And that's when it sold, I think, on for my wife. Wow, it sells itself. This is crazy. So as years gone by, we needed resources, financial resources, to really kick things started. So we came up with the idea of investors, what we call club members, investing $500 for 3 years, and we buy back the honey from that person for 3 years. And after 3 years, they not only get their the money they make, but they get their original investment back. So that literally took off beyond anything I could have imagined. And so now that allowed us to buy we actually had the property before, but that allowed us to build a building on our property. Interesting story about our property that we bought, which is at 350 on 352, 2981 Route 352 in Big Flats, New York. Interesting. And an old friend I knew from high school, I wrote him a letter because I was interested in the property. Wrote him a letter on a Monday, and he called me up on a Friday, and we quickly came to an agreement on the price. So that was during COVID, and so we were able to move quickly on that. But when we first bought the property, we thought we could only have a roadside stand there and honeybee hives, and I was ecstatic to have a place of our own just for the honeybee hives. And then a friend of mine comes along and who's a surveyor overlays the flood map on top of the property. That's why I didn't think we could build anything there, because it was in the flood zone. Well, it is sorta. Most of it's in the flood zone, but when our surveyor friend overlaid the flood map on top of the property lines, there was two areas that were in what's called a 500-year floodplain zone, and then that's when two spots there we knew we could build. And then that's when we came up with the idea of club members investing in our business. That's how it all came to be. So this may be a fairly short video tonight. I just wanted to talk about how we started, where we'd like to go with this YouTube channel. We're here to talk about honeybees. It could be anything. It could be about the Langstroth hive. It could be about the queen. It could be about worker bees, drone bees, in the environment that they thrive in, honeybees, honeybee products, where we're going as a business, as an entrepreneur. I love being an entrepreneur because there are challenges that most people who are not entrepreneurs don't know about. And so you got to be in love with the idea of getting through those challenges. So we're here to talk about all these things. And we also would like to help promote other local businesses, other local entrepreneurs in the Twin Tiers, New York State and Pennsylvania. So we'll be here. What our plan is to do every Sunday night at 5 o'clock Eastern time, and we're going to start here at home base and eventually move to HQ, as we like to call it, at 2981 Route 352 in Big Flats after we get our building built. So technology is going to advance in the coming weeks. We will have slides to show you. We will have some animations and things like that. So yeah, we're looking to improve. Some of you already follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on TikTok. I actually had a TikTok video go viral. It was really weird, like 11.8K. I watched it go up by second. That was pretty cool. So we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn and YouTube. We've been on here a while, but we haven't really done a heck of a lot with it. But man, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel at HoneyBeeMade. So we're going to call it good to go for this week, and we're going to catch you on the B side next Sunday at 5 p.m. Catch you on the B side.